Hello and welcome back to A World Without with me, Kris.
And me, Jack. This is the podcast where we get into the hypothetical and discuss what we think would happen if something from our everyday lives suddenly stopped existing tomorrow.
Yep, and today we are talking about what life might be like in a world without books. Thought we'd start off with a little riddle.
Okay.
What has leaves, yet also a spine, and tells extraordinary tales?
Is it a book by any chance?
It is a book, but you wouldn't have known that if the topic wasn't books, would you?
The leaves bit confuses me because I wouldn't say a book has leaves.
Yeah, it's one side of a page. Two leaves make up a page.
That's a lie.
It very much not.
No one ever has actually used that in
The leaf
language.
of a book. Yeah.
Nah.
I haven't either, but
Have you ever heard anyone use that?
no.
There we go.
Makes a good riddle, though, doesn't it?
Spine and tail, maybe I would have got it.
Tail?
Tails.
Oh, tails. I thought I was saying books don't have tails either.
Well, they do.
They do.
Wow.
This riddle just got even better.
So a book is defined as a written or printed work bound or glued together. So in theory, we could still kind of have books. We just couldn't bind or glue the pages, which is kind of all right, except for if you're on the train trying to commute and you want to read your book and you just have to get your bag out and it's got hundreds of loose pages in. Then you bump into someone, you drop it. That would be really hard to manage.
It
I
would,
think.
yeah.
However, I actually have a problem with that definition because what about ebooks?
Well, that's true, but the little E at the front there is a little
But is an
clue.
ebook not a type of book?
Is there any glue in a Kindle?
Probably.
There must be
I
some
don't
in
know.
there somewhere.
Maybe. Are they glued together?
I don't know if there's any leaves inside though, but
No. But I think this is where our main problem comes, is whether we count ebooks or not. Because I think the moment you count an ebook, you kind of have to count all written words.
Kind of,
Because
yeah.
what's the difference between just reading a website with loads of words written on it and an ebook, really?
Yeah.
Otherwise. Because otherwise we lose literally everything. Anything written on any surface would become a book, basically.
ebooks certainly haven't been bound and
No.
anything like that, so they're not a physical book. So
Yeah.
I
would have said, I've read a book if I read an ebook.
Well, then you've lied.
Clearly. But because if we couldn't have anything written down, you wouldn't be able to email anyone. You could maybe just use emojis instead.
All right.
Imagine trying to contact everyone in the office via just using emojis instead of words.
I'd just be
a
using
fun
the sad face all day long.
yeah, that could get fun. Little, almost like a riddle.
It is almost like a riddle.
If you were just trying to tell your boss that you need holiday off on the 15th.
You do a picture of a sun, picture of a calendar,
Yeah. Picture of you.
picture of you with thumbs up, question mark.
Yeah, that'd do it.
So are you much of a bookworm?
Well, I like reading. I'm just not very good at reading. And I don't mean that in the terms of I actually can't read, as in I just don't ever actually read that much. I'll read a book and I'll be really into it, and then I'll finish the book, and then it'll take me about 2 months until I get around to reading my next book.
I really enjoy reading. I'm just very slow at it.
Right.
And I often kind of get distracted and realise I've just spent 4 pages not really understanding. I've read the words, but not kind of strung
Understood
them
any
together.
of what they all meant. I don't know what any of them words meant.
Last book I read was Nobody True by James Herbert. Can you remember the last proper book you read? That wasn't an ebook or an email?
I read James Acaster's book. Not really an autobiography. It's basically him just telling funny stories.
Both 2 Jameses then.
Yes. What is your what? I don't know what your book is.
It's just it's a novel. It's a story about ghosts and things. It's not actually about ghosts. It's
you should
weird.
become an advertiser. You are great at selling this book.
Yeah.
I really want to read it now.
Sorry, James Herbert. We're not doing this justice, am I? And do you know where the term bookworm actually comes from?
No.
Didn't think you would. So I looked it up. It comes from, there was actually bugs in books, in the old books, although they eat books. So if you were a bit of a bookworm, you're probably
it's
not
because
if
I'm
you're eating it.
consuming the book. in that
There you
sense,
go.
know what I mean?
They also
I'm
weren't worms
consuming the
either.
knowledge of the... Oh, what were they?
Just like little parasite-y things.
Well, worms, parasites, same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Though I would say, if I was a bookworm, I would eat cookbooks. They're probably tastier, aren't they? The look he's giving me right now.
Yeah, I wish you could see this because it's just the most piercing evil I could. I mean, in theory, maybe because whilst you're cooking, you might have got some food on the book.
Oh,
so
so,
in that
so
sense,
you're
it might
saying
actually
if you add
be-
some cheese to a book, it's going to help a bit.
Yeah, it might actually be tastier, but otherwise, no. I don't believe the contents of a cookbook are any tastier than a normal book.
Fine.
There are also various different types of books. We already talked about ebooks, but there are comic books as well. So
Yep.
they don't always have to be strictly just word based. So
Yeah, I like picture books.
yeah, they're easy.
Yeah,
You know,
easier.
those ones I can understand. Yeah, but then that does raise a question again about like really what a book is, because when does a comic book stop being a book and just become art? You know,
Yeah.
if you just drew some of the stills from a comic book, are you still allowed them?
I don't know. That's a very good question. Is it just a collection of images now?
Yeah. Then audio books.
True. Again, yeah. They're taking the term book.
They've
for
been
granted
very
here, aren't they?
loose with the term book
They have.
recently, haven't they? Because I was thinking originally that we were going to do quite well out of this, having a podcast. You know, all these people who spent all their time reading would be like, ugh, well, I need something else to fill my time with.
yeah, podcasts will explode.
Might start listening to podcasts. But if audiobooks are books, then what's the difference between a podcast, really? We're just effectively a book.
We're basically a book.
We're writing a book right now as we're talking.
And it's out in the shops next week.
No one's going to buy it.
What about then like a menu or something like that in a restaurant? If you get like a really big menu, is that a book? Is it a menu
I guess
book?
it is, kind of.
And like leaflets and stuff, like certain ones, the Argos catalogue.
I was thinking of a really annoying one would be like an instruction manual to when you're to like flat pack furniture.
Yeah.
Because that's already hard enough alone with the manual. Some of those don't mean anything really.
No.
So now imagine trying to construct your IKEA furniture without the book. Look.
You'd be lost.
Yeah. So this goes a bit further than just, you know, a bit of light entertainment.
Yeah. Now we can't have cheap drawers.
Oh no. There's also textbooks as well in school, which I was actually recently thinking, do textbooks still exist? It feels like in the modern world we live in.
I don't know anymore.
Maybe it's all just online now with the kids out there. Let us know. Do you still use textbooks?
I think they just plug the kids into some kind of simulation nowadays, don't they? And just
That
pump
seems about
information
right.
into their
Yeah.
head.
It's like the Matrix, you know, when he
Yeah.
goes in and they just teach him math. And it's just like, teach me everything there is about English and maths and history. He's like, okay, I know it.
Now I know.
Let's go fly a helicopter. That's a Matrix reference. I'm not losing my mind.
Talking about the Matrix, that's actually a really good point. 20% of films are based on books.
Oh, I'm surprised it's that low.
You think? You think it'd be more?
Yeah, it feels like everything that comes out now is. I guess the problem is it's either sequels or books. It seems like most films are either sequels or books.
Well, I got some more fun film facts as well. That was really effy. That was hard to say. 1% are based on games, computer games.
All right.
There's a total of 33 films have ever been made on a computer game. Or about a computer game, I mean.
What?
Currently. 33 films ever.
Ever?
Ever.
Ever?
Ever.
That is a lie. Let's try naming it. Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider 2. There's a recent Tomb Raider. I've already got 3 just with one game.
I'm not sure if
Chris.
this includes like series of films,
Right,
whether they
okay.
just count that as one.
Okay, then-
My numbers might also be like a few years old. I don't really know.
Also,
but
by that
1%.
logic, only 3,000 films have ever been made.
I think it means once 1% every year. 1% of films nowadays
Right.
are game based
Okay.
films. And just under 20% are based on real events, real stories and things like that. So,
Pretty much as many films are based on books as they are real life events.
yeah. So that would leave roughly 60% or 59% based on just your imagination, just crazy stuff, which I guess kind of works.
That is higher than I thought.
Yeah. Couple of other films based on real games, like not video games. Battleship, Lego movies, Cluedo made a film.
Cluedo make a film?
Clue, just a film called Clue.
Because that's what they call it in America, isn't it? Anyway, Clue.
I think so. Yeah,
We don't call it Cluedo. What do we add the dough?
we had the dough on it, or the do. Cluedo.
It's spelled Cluedo.
Cluedo. Yeah, it needs an e on the end.
Yeah.
So basically, without books, we're gonna have 20% less films, or people just got to start using their imagination a bit more.
I think it might be good. It might be a good thing for the film industry not to rely on books so much anymore.
Well, I guess if we have memory of the books, we can make a film from
that'd
memory.
be hard. What was he called? I'm just trying to remember all the characters' names for the book.
Yeah.
If people already have a problem with the films of books not being accurate enough, now trying to do it based on memory will be a real issue.
Now I've just got an image of a director sat in a chair reading a book, telling all the actors what to currently say. They're just doing it page by page. All right, folks, tomorrow we do page 3, all right?
Yeah, but that's how they make a book into a film. They just read through it.
A lot of sacred religious texts have been made on books. I don't think that's the term that they use.
No.
We made it on book. So, don't know what they're going to do now. Have to shake up the format a little bit. Maybe a DVD or something.
Here's your holy DVD. Yeah.
Or maybe a Blu-ray maybe nowadays.
Yeah, to keep it up to date at least. yeah. If they're going to be updated to a modern medium, they might as well be really up to date.
Exactly. Yeah.
But again, you'd have to do it all by memory.
True.
That'd be quite...
True, but I bet
tough.
a lot of people remember a lot of the religious texts
Oh,
more so than like Harry Potter.
I don't know. There's people really like Harry Potter. There's a lot of people who love Harry Potter out there.
True.
I reckon there's somebody who could give a priest a run for his money on being able to recite their favourite book.
This sounds like a great idea for a TV show. Or something.
How much of your book can you recite? It's like Mastermind,
Yeah.
but all they have to do is recite as much of their favourite book as
And
they
it
can.
could be called Bookworms.
There we go. Diaries,
Yeah.
journals, those kind of things. You know, back in the day, you used to write down all your.
Did I?
Didn't you? more
You seem to know a lot about me. Have you been reading my diary?
The collective we used to write down, our deepest, darkest secrets in a little diary and stuff. Do people still do that anymore anyway?
I think some people write in a diary.
It wouldn't feel right writing it down on your phone or something, would it?
No, it doesn't have the same kind of
Wouldn't feel as
aesthetic
personal.
to it.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's actually a really good thing to do, to write a little diary at the end of the day.
Yeah, I've never owned a diary.
It's kind of quite like, what's the word? Therapeutic, yeah.
Maybe. So we wouldn't have that, so that's probably a bad thing.
Yeah. Bridget Jones, couldn't say her name then. She's going to struggle.
She would, yeah.
So I think out of all of the episodes we've ever recorded, books is probably one of the most likely ones to actually go. We've already started seeing a massive shift in ebooks and all things like you were saying before. But it's kind of sad, isn't it? It feels sad to lose a book. But at the same time, I think we've lost scrolls and tablets and things like that in the past. They were all before books.
Yeah.
People are like, these newfangled books coming out, ruining my stone carving business and things like that. So,
It is just something that will slowly fade out. Like, obviously, we won't lose all books. Like, we will keep a lot for, like...
Where's it gone? Behind the couch.
Historical reasons and stuff. But, yeah, like, all the millions of copies of Harry Potter won't stick around for long. They'll be gone.
They'll be long
soon.
gone.
But, yeah, it is kind of sad. But, yeah, you are right. This is one that, in 100 years... probably is going to be closest to being true of any of the ones we've got so far. Yeah. So, yeah, it is kind of sad. But, keep up books or
Come
you die.
on. We didn't have... we do have e-tablets. We still do have tablets.
Yeah, when you said tablets, I actually got confused because I immediately went to, modern tablets.
I didn't.
So we do still have tablets. We've just modernised them in the same way we've modernised books.
I haven't modernised the scroll, though.
Well, wasn't the book a modernisation of the scroll?
All right, Mr. Clever.
And now an ebook is a modernisation of the ebook, and then we'll just have brain books where we just inject the book into our brain, and it's just like, now I know that book.
Now I know that book. Yes.
So have you read the new?
Oh, mate, have you injected the new Harry Potter?
Yeah, I reckon they still will be making Harry Potters as well by the time this comes around.
Spin-offs on spin-offs.
Yeah. Will she ever stop? So obviously talking about the digitisation and stuff and going to ebooks, I was thinking about how many books we would actually lose that haven't yet been digitised. If all books disappear tomorrow, we obviously still have a lot that have been turned into digital format.
Yeah.
Really hard to find out.
I found a little bit out on it.
I found a little bit out
So
on
let's
it.
compare our research skills.
I found that there are apparently 129 million different books ever been made.
I have not got a figure on such a number.
Right. Well, that's what I found, which seemed actually quite low. I know this is different books, and that's not the amount of books around the world, because obviously there's thousands for every
copies.
book. And as of at least June 2011, so very outdated, Google had digitised 12 million of them.
See, I've got written down Google has roughly done 25% of all books.
Oh, okay.
Whether that
I
number
can't do
works.
the maths quick. Well, currently with my thing, they've done 10% of all books back
Right.
in 2011, which would make sense, in 8 years.
Yeah, they've upped their game
another
quite a lot. There's
15%.
book scanners now. The fastest one is by the University of Tokyo. It can do roughly 250 pages a minute
Wow.
of a book, which, talking about Harry Potter again, is the entire series of Harry Potter in about 17 minutes it would take to digitise.
That's some speed reading right there.
It's pretty quick, but, it's still not great. It's not ideal. For instance, the Fair Circassian book, which was written in 1721, currently has an entire human hand covering page 63 of its ebook.
How did that happen?
Someone just left their hand in the picture.
it seems like book scanning works differently to how I imagined. I
There's-
didn't imagine
there's
there'd be
two types.
a person involved. Really.
There's two different types. There's one where they just take a picture of it
Yeah.
and just upload that, because certain old books and that have loads of like doodles and things in all over the place,
Oh.
and you can't just like instantly digitize that. But then other just textbooks, they can like use character recognition to actually turn it into digital text.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one to look out for. Big old hand on page 63.
But whoever did that feels like
What
an
a
idiot.
read.
Yeah. We'll never know what it says. Or maybe that's just what was in the original book. How do we know it wasn't?
Maybe.
Maybe someone just drew his hand. Maybe the author just drew his hand.
It was
or
very
whatever.
realistic from 1721. That's a pretty good hand drawing. I think it even had a watch on or something.
Well, okay, mate. All right.
There's clues.
That's a big giveaway.
I was trying to look up how many books there were on deforestation, just to see the irony of it.
that, yeah.
But couldn't really find out. I think they try and keep it quite secret. Not
Or
very
maybe
proud
they
of
just
it.
only do print copies.
Maybe.
Digital copies.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Yeah. Glad someone did. Yeah, because that would be incredibly ironic.
Yeah, but they couldn't have done like 10 years ago or something, or 15, 20 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe they just plant a lot of tree. Like it's a sustainable. They make
They
sure it's a
plant a tree
sustainable
for every
amount.
book they make.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
How many?
How many books do you get out of a tree?
I was just thinking, why didn't we research this? We're dreadful at this podcast. If you know, tell us. I know that's not what you come to the podcast for.
If
is to
you
tell
know,
us facts.
make a podcast and we'll listen to it. We'll be right there.
Make a better podcast than this, which actually has some useful facts in it, as opposed to just mad ramblings. But yeah, I don't know. Four. I reckon you
books
can make
per tree.
4 books a tree.
Okay, great.
So obviously we mentioned like whether we count ebooks or all that sort of stuff. And if we did, like, and basically got rid of the written word, how quickly do you reckon we'd lose the ability to read as
Well,
people?
I can't, as we've established already, very well at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
I'm very slow because I don't read much normally. So, I don't know. I reckon it'll take a couple of generations worth. Because there's still plenty of things to read out and
Yeah.
about. You know, road signs,
True.
adverts.
Because when you're just on Facebook or whatever, you still have to read what
Yeah.
people write. So it doesn't feel like... But apparently people are getting worse at reading, which I don't know how. Like, kids are texting all the time. I guess
Maybe-
they're all just using emojis,
They're
aren't they? That's the
using
problem.
text speak. That's the trouble.
I don't feel that anyone actually uses text speak anymore. That's something like my mum does.
True, because it used to be a lot harder to type when you had like the old 1 to 9 little
Yeah.
digidial.
Like, I don't know anyone our age or even younger that uses like you.
Yeah, that's true.
Or like that's a thing that old people do now.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
number 2 muru and all that.
Like that used to be a thing when I was a kid, but no one does that anymore.
Yeah,
so
you're
I
right.
think maybe it's just been replaced by emojis. I think everyone communicates via GIFs, memes, and emojis.
I do send a lot of smileys.
Do you?
I use it as punctuation. I can't help it. I'm like,
You wouldn't want them to get the wrong impression that you're not happy.
That I'm
about
not
it.
happy.
You just got to be like, I'm good about it.
still
Smile.
smiling. So there's a whole bunch of different phrases that all have the word book in it.
Right.
And, you know, just seeing as books might go, we don't know what level of books might go. Maybe we lose the word book too. Who knows? So I thought I'd pose some to you and we can try and come up with alternate phrases.
Sure.
So you'd go to a restaurant and you'd book a table. What could you do?
Reserve.
There we go. We've already got a word for it. Hadn't thought of that one. Great.
Easy.
Throw the book at them.
Throw the shoe at them.
That sounds more painful.
Yeah.
Depends what book.
Yeah, I reckon I'd prefer a shoe actually than
Yeah.
a heavy book.
Like a little Mr. Man book. They're
Maybe,
quite
yeah.
light. I'd have one of them thrown at me any day of the
But
week.
equally, a flip flop. Be fine.
True. Hey.
Depends on the thing we're using, really, doesn't it?
What about the police might say like book him,
Charge him.
charge him.
We've got most.
Arrest him.
Arrest him. We got. If anything, I'd say that's an uncommon use of that.
All right. What about you do something by the book?
By the numbers.
Oh, just by the rules.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure. Next.
What about cook the books?
Oh, because yeah, bookkeeping just generally as a thing
Yeah.
is a thing. So that one's hard to replace because the books are the thing
Yeah.
as opposed to the.
You've said thing a lot in the last few seconds.
Yeah, I don't really know what bookkeeping is.
All right, last one. What about don't judge a book by its cover?
Don't judge a man by his face.
We should just clear it all up by that anyway. Who cares if you judge a book? Books don't have feelings.
I think you should. That's the only way I pick a book.
by
By its
looking at a
cover.
man's face.
No, by its cover.
Oh.
The original Sam was. I just go into a bookstore, look at the man next to me. If he's got a good face,
You're
I'll
like,
buy the
I'm going
book.
to buy this book.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Good.
No, I think it's the easiest way to that one looks fun.
Yeah, I
Next.
guess the modern phrase would be, don't judge a YouTube video by its thumbnail.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess that would be the modern
Yeah.
version.
If all books were gone, we'd lose that book smell. Do you like the new book smell?
I love that.
You love a bit
That's
of
my
new
favourite
book?
thing about going to buy a book is
Yeah.
going to the bookshop and the smell of the bookshop.
Just the smell of the books.
Mm.
See, well, you're in luck because for about $30 from smellofbooks.com, you can buy a smelly spray that smells like old books. They've actually got a few different ones. They've got classic musty scent. They've got scent of sensibility, which smells like a Jane Austen
that's
novel.
funny.
And they got a bunch more as well.
Hold on. What is different about a Jane Austen smell than...
Just a bit older.
Right.
Got a bit more romance in it.
Sure.
Smells of roses or something. I don't know.
Great.
But they say on the website, with the new book smell, your friends will never know that you're reading an ebook. If your friends are blind.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they only see the world via smell, then potentially, yeah.
It does also say, warning, glue sniffing may lead to dizziness and other side effects. Some customers may find this to be unpleasant.
Glue snip. What?
It smells of glue. We've established
Right.
that glue is a massive factor of book
Yeah,
smell.
don't sniff glue, guys. That's a bad thing to do. Like, yeah.
So don't
What are
buy
these
this.
people promoting? I've gone off this company.
Well, to be honest, I found out it's all a joke anyway.
Oh.
Doesn't even. It's just a joke website. They don't even sell the darn stuff because I was going to try and buy some and I was going to spray it in your face.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome, but no.
Oh, that's a shame.
No present for you.
Just got to stick to going to the bookstores, which we won't be able to do.
Which we won't have to do.
anymore.
But maybe it's just that. Just the smell of paper and just old paper, basically.
Yeah, which we still allow paper,
We're
right?
still allowed paper.
We're
Just
still
don't-
allowed glue. We're just not allowed to combine the two together.
No, just one for each nostril,
Right.
maybe. But
Yeah.
don't sniff glue.
Don't sniff glue, guys.
I mean, don't sniff paper either. That's just.
I
It's
mean,
just
that one's at least
weird.
not dangerous. It's not going to give you brain damage.
No, but you just want to keep people from being weird, right?
No, I'm fine with them being weird.
Fine, do what you like.
So, World Without Books, what we thinking?
Bit upsetting, but I think we'll live.
Yeah, I think this one's pretty easy to deal with. As we've said, we're pretty much entering a world without books anyway.
Yeah.
As long as we're still allowed ebooks and audio books, I think we'll be fine. School might be tough, until we get the
Little
whole
bit.
matrix system in.
Bring back the scrolls.
Yeah.
Bring those back. Bring back DVD. Put more DVDs out. Put more films on DVD
Yeah.
and things like that.
Priests might have to learn how to improvise a bit without the Bible, but
little bit.
we'll all get through
We'll all
it.
get it. We'll all muddle on together.
We'll be fine. But there we go. I think that'll do us for today. Hope you enjoyed listening.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts about a world without books. Are there any extra weird side effects that you can think of that we haven't mentioned? If you're listening on YouTube, let us know down in the comments.
Yeah, but if you're listening on any of the popular podcast places, you can tweet us at Kris and Jack. That's Kris with a K.
Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.